Hey everybody, and welcome back to Hex Token Channel. Your host Superman in the house again. Another day, another excitement, and of course we're going to be talking about Richard Heart Pulsechain PulseX and Hex today. It's going to be a lot of fun. It seems like it's our favorite topic. I don't know. What do you guys think? It's your favorite topic? It's my favorite topic. It's certainly going to be a lot of fun to talk about. Let's get into the chat, and Sue's in the house there. Don't forget to subscribe and smash the like on the way in. It's been a fun night on the old Hex chart. We're going to talk about that too. As you guys know, we're going to get into stock market, crypto news. We're going to get to Hex and Hedron Icosa, and then of course we're going to get into the Pulse Chain updates. And we've got a few of those to talk about, and some Hex updates as well. We've got Hex projects, new projects for Hex, eating up the Hex supply. I love it. And then of course we're going to get into an honorable mention for Dixon token and Rags to Riches, and then finally wrapping up with the Hex daily stats. It's going to be an epic day. All right, so let's get into it. Who is in the house? Lies beneath in there. Hello, how are you today? Very, very good. And presumably all the audio is going well, so it should be great. Hello all. Hex, E-Hex, and PLSX for the win, 100%. I've got to make sure I'm straight in the camera. I noticed yesterday I was really lopsided on the camera there. That is the ultimate strategy of the channel, and we're going to give that a magic twinkle. Nice. All right. Sandy Beach in the house there. Good to see you, Sandy Beach. One of our awesome moderators, community members, and a rising star on Twitter as an influencer. So big shout out to Sandy Beach. Brendan Eslick, morning, Superman and family. Got my copy for this one. I've got my copy too. Here's my copy. I got. Oh, can you see my copy? There we are. It's copy. I got my copy. A copy a day helps the Hex price go up every day. Probably View says Hex wins. Absolutely does. Probably View. Big shout out to you. And good to see you in the chat there. We've got Ted Nelson as well. Hey, everybody. Morning, Hex Token. And nice to see you, Ted. Who else is in here? We got Wookie's in the house. Hot. Woo! What a time to be in Hex. It is awesome, isn't it, Wookie? I hope you're enjoying it too. Wookie, another one of our moderators in the house. Who else has jumped in here? Dave Down Under. I'm looking like Richard Hart was right mid-May. Yeah, mid-May. It does look like that. It's going pretty exciting. He's been making a lot of changes, and we're going to be getting into Richard Hart later on, so stay tuned for that. He's been given lots of updates. Things have definitely changed the tone on Richard Hart. That's a good sign. So we're going to talk about all that today. Katie in the house there. Hello, Hex Skins. Good to see Katie. Another one of our awesome moderators, and of course, all-around awesome person. Smash the likes, definitely. We got Rango in the house. Morning all. Good to see Rango too. And in comes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Let's do the drum roll. Brian is in the house. Woohoo! Welcome, Brian, one of our 2 community leads, and great to see Brian. What's up, folks? Hope to be back before it's over. See you for now. Oh, that was a bit of a letdown there, Brian. That was a bit of a letdown. Yeah. Brian's a bit of a stand-up comic. Val's in the house there, late night here in England. Hi, Superman. Good to see you, Val. And of course, what else? Yeah, we got Alfred in the house there. Hey, all. Good to see you, Alfred. Michael's jumping in as well. Michael R. Howdy, folks. Good to see you, Michael. Chronic Carl's in the house there. HTCP. I never know the acronyms. It's not something that I've. It's just been one of my weaknesses there. One of my crypto nights is not knowing those. What else there? We got Ted in the house there. 76 cents on the Hex price. Let's see if we get a Superman pump today. Hey Ted, we've already had a Superman pump leading into this channel live stream, but yeah, we may very well get a super pump there. We're getting very close to where we were last night before it decided to have. We had about 5 or 6 accounts decide to sell, and I went through all of them earlier today. Cheers from my sunny Miami. Superman says Humberto. Hey, big shout out to you, Humberto. Good to see you in the chat there. Crypto capital of the world. Archipelago's in the house. Hey everybody, good to see Archipelago. And Van Sam as well. Hello all. Let's go. Absolutely, it's going to be a lot of fun. Humberto says Superman coming, pump coming up. Stay tuned. Smash the like. Definitely do that. I like that. That's worthy of a magical twinkle. That's worthy of a magical twinkle. So I'm not allowed to speak while that's on, the sound effects. So it's just the way it goes. Let's get into it, folks. We've got a lot to talk about today. Sit back, get your drink, and relax. If you got your coffee, great. Let's do it. And we're going to start with the stock market, which is a good news today. It's good news today. So let's get into it. All right, we've got the S&P 500 jumps, so that's good as the Fed's Bostic rules out support for return to aggressive Fed hikes. So rules out support for a return to aggressive Fed hikes. That's good news, folks, and we're going to get into that. So let's have a look at the indices. We've got the Dow Jones Industrials is up 1%. Finally, isn't that great to have that up? That's so cool. And 341 points there, 33,000. We've had 4.5 weeks or so of pretty dismal stuff in the stock market. And of course, up 0.75% on the S&P 500, 30 points there to 3,981, not too far away from 4,000. Nice to see Dow Jones back over 33 just. And in the Nasdaq, they're up 0.7%, 83 up to 11,462. Remember, that's got a lot of the tech companies in it. That's a modest day for tech movements, but nice to see it on the green. Funnily enough, the dollar is also up, so risk on, but the dollar is up 0.5%. And that is at 104.94. Typically don't go in the same direction, I don't think, so that's the way it goes. We have a look at the oil. We got Brent oil there up 1/3%, 27 cents to $84.58. And Brent West Texas there up 0.4%, 33 cents there, $78. And I always like, let's go to the Brent oil today and have a look at the monthly, month on month. So we're actually slightly higher than we started the month. So $84.58. We started the month at $83 and we got to a high of 86. So we're currently at $84.60. So just down from there. So it's not pretty narrow range really. Gold is up slightly. It's almost flat, but it's up slightly. $1.70 to $1,843 an ounce. And silver there is up just modestly too, 4 cents to $21.02 there. That is pretty much it on the commodities. Let's jump over to the commentary. The S&P 500 paired losses Thursday as Treasury yields eased from sessions highs after Atlantic Federal Reserve President Referral Bonus. Now, I think from memory there's about 18 of these presidents part of the Federal Reserve. I think it's about 18. I've double checked that, but I think it's approximately right. Ruled out backing return to more aggressive Fed rate hikes. So the market liked that. And of course, right now, I'm still very firmly in the quarter-point move camp, said Bostic, so the president there for the Fed, Atlanta Fed, in a roundtable with reporters on Thursday. And so that's sitting in where we're saying, right? So we've been saying on this channel, agreeing, I guess, with general market sentiment, 25 basis points for March, May, and June. It's kind of where I feel, but this is where they're at. So that's kind of good news, I think. There are no 50 basis points. That would really shock the market big time, I think, when it's getting back up to that. Now, if you compare that to our own in New Zealand, we have our central bank, and man, the last time they did a rise was 50 basis points, and they've still got 50 and 75 basis points on the table. Oh my goodness! So it's pretty horrific. Our inflation, CPI inflation, is about 7.3, 7.5%, somewhere in that ballpark. But they're pretty aggressive here, pretty aggressive indeed. And it's a blunt instrument. If you think it's a blunt instrument in the US, it's a really blunt instrument here. And of course, it's completely detached from the supply side. This is a really big deal. So you got big fiscal spending on the demand side from governments. You got the Fed trying to do its own thing with interest rates, smashing the households. And then you've got our central bank. He made a statement. He goes to the households. He goes, or to the banks, he goes, well, you guys are increasing your interest rates really fast to your house lenders, but you're not increasing the savings rate as fast because they're profit gouges. That's why they keep that margin in there. They're such profit gouges, man. Honestly, it's terrible. And then they do these nice ads. We're your bank. We're your friends. That's why DeFi crypto is so important, because these guys are just profit gouges in the banks. Anyway, enough from that. Let's move on. The remarks ease worries that the Fed could be forced to revert a more aggressive 50 basis point rate hike following strong economic data. So that's kind of a bit of a better forward-looking future there. Data showing a jump in labour costs in the fourth quarter, and fewer than expected initial jobless claims pushed the 10-year and 2-year Treasury yields to levels not seen in more than a decade. Whatever the reason that jobless claims have remained subdued, the bottom line is that the labour market is not increasing in any meaningful way, and there's no evidence that this will change anytime soon, says Jeffries. The strong data and, of course, hawkish remarks from the several Fed members earlier this week have forced some of the Wall Street in to price more aggressive Fed rate hikes and lower earnings, and I still think we're in the 75 basis more split over those 3 months ahead. Wells Fargo pushed back its call on recession and now expects an economic downturn in the second half of the year. So I think they were looking at the first half there and said it expects interest rates to stay higher for longer. I think we agree there. I've moved my expectation from September, October through to the end of the year, which pretty much fits with the market now. And so looking at 2024 to be when we get that pivot, and of course that would help with the bull market, maybe leading into February, March, somewhere like that next year. We've reduced our. That being said, crypto can do its own thing to a certain degree. We've reduced our end of the year 2023 target for the S&P 500 index and raised our target for the range of the federal funds rate to 5.25 to 5.5 it added. So, I talked about this the other day at 5.4, and that looks like probably where we're going. Remember, in March, we get an ECP update forecast. Last one was December. That was 5.1. And, of course, next update, we're probably going to get that 5.4. And we're probably going to get to the top of the range between this range here. That's probably where we're going to finish there. And that's where the market is heading as well, with general opinion. Financials were the biggest drag on the market. The regional banks led to the downside despite a surge in yields, which tends to boost margins on lending. Yeah, that's what I was just talking about. And in New Zealand, they're doing it really bad. They're such little rip-off artists, and they're propagandists too. The banks are so woke now. This woke stuff has contaminated the corporates. Now, typically, it comes through HR departments, or it comes through a particular executive on the executive table, and then it's like a cancer that expands through the rest of the corporate organization. Cryptocurrency silver bank. So we're moving into the crypto a little bit here. Cryptocurrency bank Silvergate Capital Corp. Meanwhile, extended losses after plunging 55% after delaying its annual report and raising concerns about its ability to survive following the impact of the collapse of FTX and the slump in crypto market. And of course, utilities and consumer staples were among the top gainers of the day. And so that was kind of cool from that point of view. We're going to jump to the bottom though. Just want to jump into Tesla news. Tesla detailed plans to lower costs at its investor day on Wednesday, but failed to provide any updates on plans to launch a more affordable electric car, sending its shares more than 6%. So I would agree with that. It'd be nice to see some of those plans. I thought it was going to be a lot bigger on the day. One of the highlights that I did see from Elon Musk was around AI, applying their car AI, which he's saying is the best out there. And I wouldn't be surprised, it probably is the case, to their robotics. But the robotics is, even though it's moving very fast, it does seem to be way behind Boston, which is, quite several years ahead there, Boston Robotics. We believe many investors were hoping for more specifics on when the third generation vehicle could be shipping, and therefore the lack of clarity beyond the comment that they were working as fast as they can, and it could be in the next couple of years, is like to be viewed as a disappointment to some. But they're probably going to surprise the upside as well on certain fronts. So that is the stock market news and a bit of crypto in there as well. Let's jump over to the crypto, get into it. BTC, just kind of waning a little bit here, but still holding up pretty decent. 22,478 is down 0.6%. Ether at 1647 is down 0.5% there. And maybe the Silvergate's having a little bit of impact there, just because the stock market obviously had a reasonable day, green day after a long time. The BNB has just popped under $300 there at 299, down 0.7%. That's pretty much it on those ones. You can see everything's sort of pinkish red, which means it's just slightly down. Let's have a look at the stables though. They've probably been one of the key stories. USDC there is almost 2 days ago, almost got back to peg. Now it's back down again for the second day, 98.7 cents in USDC, not doing too hot there. And of course, the other one we're looking at there, BUSD, looking like it's doing a little bit better, up 0.5% to $98.8 cents, but still under peg, peg there. USD Tether, obviously the biggest stable out there by a long shot, has been very stable at $1. So that has been the preferred major stable coin to hold there. Be interesting to see what the PulseX Sacrifice set does. At the moment, that's holding, I can't remember the exact percentage, about 45% or so. I'm just giving you a ballpark number there. I have to go double check my spreadsheet. Was holding about 45% or so in USDC, plus a couple other smaller stables. And then, of course, 51% was held in DAI. So that was an interesting move as well. We've seen other stables, though, also under a bit of, issue like Frax there. And USDD. I see that I think it was a GUSD under pressure as well. I don't think that's up on this list, but a few of those having some issues there around stablecoins. So be very careful with the stablecoins that you're doing. You can't just arbitrarily go in these at the moment because of the SEC and Paxos and things like that. So just do your due diligence on your stablecoins if you're doing your risk management. That is pretty much it. All right, let's let's jump over to some of the crypto news. I haven't got the nomics up today, so we'll leave that at the moment. Actually, let's pull up nomics now. I'm going to pull up nomics. Let's do it. And let's have a look at our ranking quickly. So we've got the global market cap at 1.12 trillion, down 0.9%. We've got obviously the top leaderboards there: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Finance Coin, XRP, OKB there. I saw someone had a big holding in XRP, was going to sell that down. There was talk of a big seller coming into XRP. I haven't actually followed that since then. Let me know in the chat if you have seen anything further about the XRP there. Obviously, they've got the court case coming up. Is that today or on the 13th? I can't remember if it was the 3rd or the 13th, something like that. Let us know in the chat if you remember the day, the court case there for the XRP. Hopefully they win it. I think they may have a reasonable chance. We'll see. It's a pretty important case there. We could see a big surge in the XRP. That is the case. I haven't really followed that recently, but that is the case there. OKB is number 7, Cardano number 8, Dogecoin number 9 there, and of course then Polygon at number 10. Now these two, Dogecoin and Polygon, both have similar market caps at 11 billion, and then of course you've got Hex sitting there waiting to get to the top 10 to stay in there, and that is Hex at the moment 75695. It's down 2% on 24 hours, but has rebounded from the pullback earlier. And of course, it's sitting at 10.66 billion there in the top at number 11 there. So hey, another move higher, get to 8 cents, and we're moving up to the top 10 for the old Hex. Isn't that awesome? Okay, so just to wrap up some of the others here, we've got Solana at 14, Polkadot at 15, Shiba Inu at 16. We've got Litecoin at 17, Tron at 18, Avalanche at 19, and DAI, which we were talking about stable there, is stable. And of course, we've got 51% of our PulseX Sacrifice held in DAI, so that's looking pretty good. So nothing to see there, folks, nothing to see there. All right, let's get into some of the crypto news. I'm not going to read all this, but just wanted to go through the highlights, and that is crypto industry distances itself from Silvergate as banks collapses, and of course you've seen a lot of players do that there. On Thursday, several crypto firms made statements meant to distance themselves from crypto-friendly bank Silvergate, and of course its shares fell as we saw earlier there. Coinbase, Paxos, Galaxy Digital, Gemini, Bitstamp, and Crypto.com and Circle each issued statements saying they've cut ties with the once crucial banking partner linking them to traditional banking system. MicroStrategy has also addressed concerns for its Silvergate loan in the event of the bank's insolvency. So some pretty big stuff happening on that front. This distance from the crypto industry adds another business challenge to Silvergate, which gave notice late Wednesday it won't meet its March 16 extension to file its annual report and cast doubt on its ability to continue as a going concern over the next 12 months. Shares of the company were down. So that's pretty much it. There's a lot more to that article, but that's where we're gonna leave it there. Also, the SEC seems to be expanding its scope of issues that it's looking at. Yesterday we looked in that in pretty full. Stable coins, staking as a service, custodialship, and all that sort of stuff. That's really getting into that today. SEC chairs implies crypto exchanges may not be qualified custodians as new rule is drafted. So these guys are taking a wide scope here. Remember, he's going for an punitive approach to crypto rather than a dialogue and really having working with the communities, just going after them. And it just seems, it just seems a bit too convenient after FTX and Sam Bankman-Friedman and his relationship there. It just looks all too convenient, doesn't it? They always set up, is it a bit of a setup? You can ask yourself that. Gary Gensler praises the SEC Investor Advisory Committee proposal to rule on safeguarding advisory client assets, but thinks crypto firms may not be up to enough snuff there or something. United States Security Commissions has backed a proposal rule that would extend asset custody rules to more cryptocurrencies, saying investors need protection and so forth. So that is another area that they're looking to go for there. The Commission's Investor Advisory Committee has proposed expanding 2009 rule designed to reduce the risk of advisors embarking on Ponzi schemes to all asset classes, including crypto assets that are not funds or securities. The new rule would enhance protections provided by qualified custodians in light of new authorities granted by Congress in 2010. Now, obviously, we're in DeFi. We're not in favor of custodians anyway. We like to own your keys, own your coins. So it is really affecting CeFi and centralized exchanges. The proposed rule would also require written agreements between advisors and custodians, add requirements for foreign institutions serving as custodians, and explicitly extend the safeguard rules to discretionary trading. Investment advisors, he continued, cannot rely on crypto platforms to perform custodial functions. Gensler added, just because a crypto trading platform claims to be a qualified custodian doesn't mean that it is. When these platforms fail, investors' assets often have become property of the failed company, and that's true. And that court just ruled that last time, right? Yeah, that's not great. That's why we say own your keys, own your coins. Get into DeFi and check out obviously Richard Art's golden products here, Hex, Pulsechain, and PulseX. It's going to be pretty fun. To be a qualified custodian under the new rule, a firm would need to ensure that all assets are properly segregated, submit to annual audit reports. And this was a big issue with the terms of service with the FTX, right? So they had different products and they said, oh, we'll ring fence this. And then it turns out they didn't ring fence any of it. It was all almost put into one little bucket almost. And then they were out leveraging it out and lending it out and then cycling it through, multiplying it and all sorts of stuff before it got all wrecked, right? All this fell down the house of cards. Submit to annual audits from public accountants and undertake other transparency measures. I have no problem with that. I think that's okay. US SEC, because it's going to actually make custodians even more safer, but it's not as safe as your keys, your coins. So this is the way it goes. You've still got that trusting relationship there as well. So cool. SEC Commissioner Hester Peirce opposed the rule. She argued in a statement that the new rule would encourage investment advisors to back away immediately from advising their clients with respect to crypto. So that's true. It was the second statement that Gensler has made in the proposed rule. The first was in mid-February when the rule was first proposed. So nice to see a bit of fight back there with Hester Peirce. So that's kind of cool. All right, let's jump over through some of the stuff here. We also got update here. What happened there? What's going on there? Some of these websites are horrible. This CoinDesk, horrible layouts. Voyager bankruptcy judge says he is absolutely shocked by SEC objection to Binance US deal. Judge Michael Wiles gave short shrift to idea that VGX token could be an underregistered security. And of course, the US Bank Court Judge Michael Wiles appeared heavily skeptical about the attempt by the SEC to stop a purchase by Binance US of its assets of a defunct crypto lender Voyager Digital at a Thursday court hearing. The securities regulator said that the $1 billion deal should be blocked because Voyager's token could constitute an unregistered security, which is one of the issues that we've talked about. There are at least 4 issues now that the SEC are trying to chase down. You come here and tell me that I should stop everybody in their tracks because you might have an issue. What the court judge said, addressing counsel for the SEC. It's kind of a weird objection. Wiles, who was in the Southern District Bankruptcy Court in New York, said he was absolutely shocked at the SEC's objection, saying it was asking Voyager to prove a negative with little guidance from the regulator. 100%, man. That's because these guys are wild cowboys at the moment with their punitive approach. I get the feeling that this objection has been made as a kind of cover, so you can say later that we'll see we raised these issues. You haven't really. You have done nothing. I need to know specifics. So this is getting at the SEC. It's kind of nice. And they had a bit of a pushback here. It's good to see it from a judge. William Upgrove here, representing the SEC, said the creditors had not been sufficiently warned of regulatory risks, but declined to take a definite position on whether VGX was security. Counsel for Voyager told the court that the deal could see creditors achieving 73% recovery. So that's actually pretty good, because a lot of the time you lose everything or you get about 10-15% back, and then it's like a couple of years later. So that's actually would be a better result than you losing it all, right? A revision upwards thanks to the recently bullish crypto market. Obviously, prices being up there. Court filings show that 97% of its customers, representing 98% of total claims, had voted in favor of the deal, though it has found less favor with regulators. The SEC, remember the SEC, they've been charging these companies and getting paid, right? So they always get paid out of this. This is kind of the irony of it all. The Securities and Exchange Commission has warned it could involve the unlawful sale of unrestricted securities. The Federal Trade Commission said it was probing Voyager for deceptive marketing, while Texas regulators said creditors weren't properly warned of legal risk, which is true too. So that is the crypto news. So a couple big stories this week around that. So it's been good to mention them. We're going to get into our main section here around the main topic, and of course get into Hex and everything else. So stay tuned for all that. It's going to be good. Let's get into some of the comments though before we do. And where did I get up to here? I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Let's jump through some of those. Definitely got everybody's those comments. We've got Francisco Nava now there. Good afternoon from Park City, Utah. Get into those charts. Here's Francisco. We're going to get into them right now, actually. We've got Lazy Hexagon as well. Twinkle, twinkle. Little star. And yo. And Xenology says all Hex liquidity proof providers should take a break for 7 days. Hex at 1 cent, $1. Well, hey, look, Xenology Hex liquidity providers have set this up, have set the chart up, the liquidity up for a price pump. So I'm pretty happy with where that's at. FL says, so, hey, good to see FL. Who else has jumped in here? Astro369, good to see you, family. Good to see you, Astro. Who else is jumping down here? Acapella goes in the house there. Hey, Superman, what do you think of the likelihood of Chainlink having meaningful value on Pulse Chain? I don't think that they're coming. I think they might be worth value, but I thought they weren't going to support the chain. Yeah, let me double check back on that, but they'll probably maybe. Otherwise, it would be one of the top tokens. Astro369 says, feels like XRP was benched from being used as a popular DeFi and just never left the bench. Wouldn't mind if it being forgotten, but I'd like to for them to win also. Me too. Actually, well, here's the point. I think it's better for the market as opposed to Ripple, because I can't stand Ripple and it's a bit of a sham. You know, they're just dumping XRP on people's heads. But apart from that, it's probably more around the general legal principle of it. Any knowledge why the interest rates only go up 25% increments? It seems like a too big a difference between 25 and 50. Well, they were going up at 75 and 50 basis points, and they've just slowed down to 25 because they already think the absolute rate of the interest rates is up pretty decent, and it always has a lagged impact on the real economy. But they obviously, I think that the employment market's performing still too well. You know, the employment market it makes up about 56% of the PCE. And a personal consumer expenditure, which is the second inflation measure that is out there. The other one is the CPI, but the PCE measures what the US Federal Reserve focuses their inflation target on, down to 2%. Now it's funny, 2% was founded from New Zealand, but the Fed's actually New Zealand's one is now between 1% and 3% target, which I think is a bit more friendly. Although I think they're using the CPI, and that is at 7.3. I think last time I checked, yeah, I think it was 7.3. What else there? Let's go in. We've got Check My Pulse. Says, good evening, Xkins. Good to see you, Check My Pulse. Let's jump through some of that. Astro says, by the end of the year, I'll be processing the mining tweet of Staker class, Stake and Bake, Staker app, all decimated with a single tweet. Says Astro. Nice. JB in the house there. Evening, Superman. Good to see JB. And we've got Root Dog in the house there. Glad I'm able to catch you live, Superman. Love what you do for the community. I have learned so much. Thank you. Hey, welcome, Root Dog. Very, very cool. Hey, look, talking about that, there's a couple of people out there that are doing stuff, but they're actually promoting economic models that actually don't work in most cases. But apart from that, I won't talk about it anymore. You can work out what I'm talking about. Good luck. What's up, Superman? Hey, Lost in Crypto. Good to see you. Let's get into it, folks. All right, where are we at here? So we've got vertically integrated crypto ecosystem, and of course, we're looking at it, folks. So we're Richard Hart's Hex Pulsechain and PulseX. This is the gold standard of products going to be moving forward for crypto. And of course, we've got some major themes going along there. We're going to have the biggest airdrop in crypto history. That's going to still true today. It's even more true. There's more projects out there. We're going to have massive potential adoption as well. It's going to be awesome to see that. Richard Hart's ecosystem with Hex Pulsechain obviously coming up there. Cheaper, faster, greener, fee-burning Ethereum fork. And PulseX there, most liquid AMM on Pulsechain, deflationary DEX. Really could be a super DEX, the first super DEX out there. And maybe the first mega DEX. And my definitions of those are PulseX super DEX would be to challenge Binance trading, and of course the mega DEX would be to challenge the layer 1 valuation. Obviously that's going to be awesome to see. PulseX could be the very first to do that. It's going to have, if we get $1 billion of daily volume, that's about $700,000 of buy and burn for the PulseX main token. It's going to be pretty interesting. Remember, that's a dual token system. There's also an incentive token for the yield farmers, and that's going to be fun to see them come over pretty quickly. Some of that part of that liquidity funding, people call mercenary LP providers, and that's because they come over pretty quickly as well. So it's going to be fun. Pulsechain, of course, is going to be awesome. Yeah, it's just going to be so good. Now, PulseX is going to be V2 of a Uniswap form, so we'll have both sides of the tokens, including the valuable side, particularly stable coins. And I have a feeling that obviously with PulseX with 51% in DAI, if it continues to hold that to the launch, then that could be DAI could be a major trading pair amongst the major stables. At least until 4 to 6 weeks later, and then we're going to have all the leading DeFi's come out, the forks of Liquidity, and of course Liquidity is now a major stable coin on Binance as well. So that's only going to continue to grow, I suspect, and we're going to have our own forks there with Liquid Loans and Power City. So we're going to have USDL and PXDC. I finally remembered Power City's one, PXDC. That's going to be the stable coin. And they're going to both be awesome systems. They're the ultimate system, and the 4 different models that we have for stable coins, they are seeming that and Fiat model is the best, and we're seeing that they are going to have Pulse and PulseX as their collateral coin, which is pretty cool, and token. So it's going to be pretty cool there, and the Pulse chain there as well with the big burn there, 25%. Now understand that that's going to be potentially from the total supply, or at least the ratio. So we're waiting for a bit of clarity around that, as opposed to a block fee. So we'll see whether Richard does clarify that in the future. Hex.com, of course, the ultimate savings product as well. So what we're going to get out of this with PulseChain and PulseX, we're going to get a massive income effect from here. There's massive profit sharing in here. And then, of course, we're going to get the wealth effect of that accumulated income going into Hex is my expectation, what we will see there. And that's going to be exciting. We're going to have Hex on both Ethereum and PulseChain. I suspect both those chains are going to flourish pretty well. I think that ETH Power and ETH Fear pretty much done their dash. I think they might have a little bit of a day in the bull market, but really the 2 main chains are going to be ETH and PulseChain. And of course, as you know, the more things you add to a list, the more difficult it gets to keep those valuations up. So really do think the 2 expensive chains will be PulseChain and Ethereum, and of course those will get valued up accordingly and grow accordingly as well. So it's going to be pretty awesome. So epic stuff going on here. The other thing, of course, we're going to have the highest of stakes coming out. We're going to have the Hex Investment Trust, potentially at the price that Hex is at the moment, must be very close, if not already getting up towards being able to go public, at least to apply for their public license and go on NASDAQ or something. That's huge. That opens us up to all the capital markets in the world where all the big money is. So that could be really awesome. And maybe they'll also diversify into doing Pulse, not just Hex, doing Pulse and maybe even PulseX as part of their offering. So it's going to be fun to do that, see that. The timing couldn't be more perfect, I think. That's probably going to take them 6 to 9 months. I don't know whether there's a 30-day average period, like, it has to hold a certain $10 million value for 30 days, something like that. Don't know if they've got any qualifying criteria like that to do. We've got lots of stuff coming out. There's so much stuff happening in the ecosystem. I'm also very excited about Rack and Rochelle, Overwatch, everything blockchain. We haven't heard much from them lately, but I'm excited about where that could head as well, particularly with the Middle East and funds showing through that mechanism as well, obviously based on oil money. So yeah, let's get oil money into Hex and PulseChain. Ching ching! All right, don't get too excited, man. Just because I said oil money, you guys are going crazy. All right, that's what. Oh yeah, this is how it's going to be epic, folks. We're going to have probably at least 120, 150 projects on there. Probably the top 10 of those are going to be absolutely outstanding utilities on top of PulseChain and PulseX. But of course, the main game, folks, is on. The main game is on. You guys can see it. We're going to jump to the Hex chart in a second. The main game is on. And Hex is not just doing well just on its own special features with staking everything else, but is also a proxy for PulseChain at the moment. There is no PulseChain coin out at the moment. That will have to wait until it launches, and then of course everybody that sacrifices that will get their airdrop of that Pulse coin. But in the meantime, Hex is the proxy coin, and that's going to have obviously the fundamentals of Hex plus the bullishness of PulseChain get priced into it. So anything could happen to this Hex price, folks. Anything could happen, and we know the liquidity providers have set it up so that to help it's on its merry way. So that's kind of cool. This gets us in the Hex. We're on the 15-minute chart on Hex, and you can see the Hex was doing pretty nicely here. We were coming up to 7.7, quite a bit of time, 7.8 here. We even moved up here to 7.8 here. But then we had probably at least 6 or 7 different larger accounts, plus smaller ones, just slow down. Not any mega big ones, but just enough of them, of medium size sort of sells to sell us down all the way down to 7.1, which is probably a nice healthy little retrace there on the 15-minute chart. and of course bouncing back up here. We bounced back up to 7.6 for the live stream, and of course at the moment we just had a little bit of pullback here down to 7.5 cents, so looking pretty good. Yesterday, of course, we had our channel poll, and 73% I think it was said we would be over 8% by the end of Sunday, and that was a poll that I put up, of course, so this is going to be interesting to see. So that's a 15-minute chart. Let's go to the shorter time frames, the longer time frames, which is 1 hour, and that you can see on the hourly chart, that's where we are at the moment. So yeah, pulled back there. The last 5 or 6 hours we've managed to recover after 5 or 6 hours of moving down there after we hit 7.8, which is pretty nice, getting very close to 8 cents, teasing us there as well. Now let's have a look at the Whalebot on the hourly, because it gives us a good tune here. So 17 hours ago we had 3.5 million M staked. They got 150% ROI, 50.8% APY, 3.5 million, and they got the reward of 5.2 million. This is a 1,080-day stake, so it's an old OG stake here, and that's pretty cool. Now they got 541 T shares, so even with the reward, they're not going to get as many T shares as they did when they did stake this 1,080 days ago, because of the share rate. But congratulations to them. That's what it's all about. And we have seen the last couple of weeks some of these sort of 3-year stakes come out of the OG stakes there. Not overly amount, but a decent amount of them flowing through there. Hex for Aurelius here says pure hex skin to its fullest, 100% on that. That's pretty cool. So yeah, people liking that. So that was a cool stake there. We had 8.1 million stake for 5 days. And we have seen the last couple of weeks as well, quite a few large stakers in the millions staking for long periods of times, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. And this one's a 555. And of course, they're grabbing that T shares there, 922. The share rate's not waiting for anybody. It's going up and to the right. So they've secured their position in the future. And of course, they'll be one of the very large accounts in the future with that sort of stake. So 922 T shares, congratulations. Had 13,000 views on it. 13,000 views on this stake update here on Whalebot. So just shows you people were just like, yeah. They're pretty amazed by that. Yeah. So we've got lots of cool little memes in there. So nice. Thank you. Now that's a win-win, right? It's a win for the staker, and it's a win for everybody else, because all the hex goes off the market, the circulating supply goes down, and that's increasing the propensity for price to go up over a longer period of time. So it's kind of cool like that, and it defers inflation. So it's a win-win. That's what we like about the hex contract. It's very cool. So that is the play there. Let's jump forward from that. So some nice ones there. 1 million hex staked after that for 5,419 days. So very good on that one as well. Then over 5 million USD are staked into hex. So sorry, over 5 billion USD are staked into hex, which is pretty awesome. So TVL there for over $5 billion staked. Isn't that neat? So some cool measures there. 7 hours ago, we had 2.1 million hex sold. So that was 7 hours ago. We can go back on our hex chart there, and we can go back 7 hours ago. And of course, that gets us into this candle here, into these last 2 candles on the Whalebot there. Like I said, there was a lot of smaller ones that were selling down. I think they were in the 30 to 50,000 range, so it didn't quite make the Whalebot there. 2.6 million sold 4 hours ago, 190, and that was 4 hours ago. So that was in probably in this candle here, this red one here, and that absorbed that. The market absorbed it and moved on. So the market absorbed that sell that was in this red candle, and on went back up to 5.6. Is now at 7.5. Sorry, I went to 7.6. So that is on the hourly. Let's go to the 4 hourly chart here, and this is really the traders chart, and we can see that we had a nice little bounce off here on the 4 hourly on the 20 EMA. So I think Brenton might have mentioned this as well in the price chat there. That's where we bounced off there. So very, very cool after that sell that we saw from the Whalebot, and looking really nice. So the chart's looking pretty good in my view. As we look at the 4 hourly, look, there's a 4 hourly there. That's our all-time low price there of 1.7 cents approximately, and the chart's looking pretty healthy there as well. Remember, it's not only the hex fundamentals doing well, but the hex is a proxy for pulse chain, and we know what layer ones are, right? Layer ones get valued up big time. And also you're getting a copy of your hex on the pulse chain as well. So there's 3 fundamentals right there. The hex fundamentals are doing really well. You get a copy on pulse chain, and of course it is the proxy for pulse chain coin, because there's no pulse chain coin at the moment. Hex is the only coin that is currently existing of Richard Hart, who founded these 3 projects, was founding these 3 projects. Hex has already obviously been around since the 3rd of December 2020 there. Sorry, 2019. So 3rd of December 2019. A little bit late there. A little bit late, so that's kind of cool. 7.5. Let's have a look at 24 hours. We're on the daily. Let's go to that. And on the daily there, looking very, very nice. We had a golden cross. I love that golden cross down there. Really 50-day over 200-day moving average. Very cool sign. And of course, you guys know we've busted out of the long-term downtrend for Hex. So there's no ceiling for us now. Let's put it that way. All right, so over the last 24 hours, we are down 2.7% after that little bit of profit taking, but we are rebounding. The last 6 hours back up 5%. So we're down, what, about 8% or so. So we're back up, and we're heading in the right direction. On a 24-hour basis, 481 trades versus that were buys, so 59% buys. And of course, the volume there, 52% sell volume, so that just took it down just a little bit there. But on the 6-hour, it improves. We've got 65% buys, and with the volume at $900,000, 56% of the buy volume. So it's really turned around there in the last 6 hours. We saw that on the hourly, 4-hourly charts. So looking pretty good is the old Hex here. Very excited. All right, so that is pretty much that on that. We're going to jump away to Hedron quickly. Hedron at the moment is also, let's go to the daily on Hedron. Hedron had, actually, let's go to the hourly because that gives a bit of sign here. You can see there's a bit of sell-off in Hedron, just like with Hex. Went down to 1879, but has fought its way back up to 1990, so almost back at 2000 on the old daily there. That is the Hex chart there. Actually, let's go back to the Hex one because I forgot to bring up the RSI. RSI just in slightly overbought territory, but still looking pretty okay there on the RSI. Now, with Hedron, we're at 1990, and we've bounced off the 1881 there. We're down 7.3% on the 24-hour, but up 4% on the 6 hours. And over the 24 hours, we had 58 trades, 63% buys, but the sell volume was 65%, so that pushed up there. But it's turned around, flipped around on the last 6 hours with the buy volume at 57%, which is 93% of the buy volume. So nice little push back there, back up to towards 2,000, which is not too bad. All right, so that is pretty much that for that. Let's jump into, actually, let's do the RSI on this and the, I could think like the DMI as well. So RSI is sitting at 49, so just sort of in the middle. That does reflect the chart, I guess. And we've got the buyers there as this dipped down with the sellers dipping up. Will they cross this time? Obviously, if you're a Hedron person, you don't want that to cross. You want it to bounce up again. We had a bounce here with the buyers here back on the 25th. Will happen again here on the 2nd or 3rd. We'll see. Definitely the confirmed trend is over for the buyers. So it's a bit of a battle now going on between buyers and sellers there on the old Hedron. And of course, reflecting Hex as well. We've got in the Hex HSI auctions, we've got 3,864 in the queue. You have to pull these in by starting the auction. You need Hedron to do that, and you have to use app.acosa.pro, and you can find the link to the site in our useful links in Discord under Hedron Acosa section in the useful links. Check that out. All right, how many in the auction at the moment? We've got 22. Some of them have already closed, so these 5 have already been won. Let's see what's up available that you can go and bid on. Man, there are some awesome deals in here, folks. Some awesome deals. If you are looking to a long-term staking or maybe speculating on trading, some of these are really, really good. Maybe you're going to sell back to the Acosa contract or whatever. But man, some of these look 666,666, 86 T-shares at the moment. It's got almost 8.8 billion Hedron bid on that. Man, oh man, just such good value for if you are going long term with these T-shares. Honestly, it's pretty good. We've got 560,000 Hex here, 72 T-shares. We've got another 577,000 Hex here, 75 T-shares. We've got 38 T-shares here, another 36 T-shares here, and they've all got different bids on them. So the range of bids on these that people have had have been dramatic sometimes. And here, one, you might get a super discount on one, and you might get a good discount on one and a super discount on another one. It just is the way it goes here. So we'll see how that gets on there on these bids. So it's going to be fun. Anyway, there's something there for everybody if you want to go and check these out as well. So that is the Hex HSI auctions on Acosa. Now the Wattses, we've got 4 Watts NFTs are burned in the last 24 hours. So there's 4 of them, 4 Watts NFTs burned in the last 24 hours. I know that Wookie will be happy about this. That's 1,828 endpoints, and we're left with 21,549. And so far 3.42% has been burned. This has dropped a little bit from our last update. I wonder if that chart he gave us yesterday was an update or something. But this is at 96. So it's 96.6% of all Watts NFTs are remaining And it's supposed to be last man standing, as I always say, but you guys know the joke. It's last crowd standing because there's so many people still hodling because the yield's so juicy, a juicy yield. Let's have a quick look at the ALGO price and see what that looks like at the moment. And we're up there on that one. We'll take, I don't know, is this the one? Okay, I think this one's all right. So sitting at 56 cents. So I think that's holding up pretty well. Obviously, as the price moves up higher, we may see a quicker burn of these blue ones here. If the price starts heading back towards the dollar, for example. We definitely got a higher low in here at 50 cents. So higher low, we had 25 cents here. We got 50 cents here. So we'll see how we get on there with the ALGO. There's a lot of yield out there, though, so you've got to take that into account. In fact, let's have, can we actually see that on here? Let's go and have a look at the ALGO contract, see how much is actually circulating. So we've got 7,750,000 ALGO liquid there from the looks of it. Just trying to remember how they staked this, actually. Yeah, I used to know that off by heart, but I can't remember. So forget that. Let's move on. All right, so that is a ALGO Hedron. Let's jump into Pulsechain updates now. Let's do it. Everyone excited about that? I think so. Right. Before we do that, though, let's get into the chat and say hello as well. All right, we're coming back to that. Who else has jumped in the chat here? We've got 73 people watching, so a big welcome to all of you. Hope you guys are having a good day, and don't forget to subscribe on the way in. Where we go. Things about to get really exciting in our community when this Pulsechain testnet V3 launches. It's a really big deal because it's going to be the first proof of stake fork. It's going to be pretty exciting to see that. And what will they drop with it? It's going to be fun. What else there? We're coming back a little bit here. Just trying to find out my last post that I got up to. Lost in Crypto. Did I get up to Lost in Crypto? JB, I definitely got up to JB. Lost in Crypto there. Hello, Superman. Jump through all those. Cookies and Crypto in the house there. Woohoo! I wonder how many X's Pulse and PulseX will do. I suggest a lot will be the case. HexForce1 says, good evening, Superman and Hexkins. Good to see HexForce1. Great to see you in the house. Crypto CJ's in the house there as well. Good evening, or whatever time you have. Yeah, that's true. We're an international audience. And Astro says, shout out to all my Hexkins, PulseXkins, and Incentivians. That's true. Cookies and Crypto with the rocket bags. I like that. I like your attitude towards that. Sandy Beach says, don't forget the RH wallet tickings. Yeah, lol, yeah, that's definitely coming, still coming as well. The old heart wallet, I call it, the heart wallet. It's got a good ring to it. Apparently he's got about 2 devs working on that, something like that. Let me see. Detached Soul says, never fear, yo is here. Nice to see the excitement there, Detached Soul. Paul Outbot, man, it's been a while. Just asking anybody, once the launch occurs, what's the best way to buy Hex, Pulsechain, and PulseX from the MetaMask? Do I just add Ethereum to my MetaMask and go? Yeah, I wouldn't buy it through the MetaMask swapping fee. You might be able to use internet money by that time. Apparently that's going to be launching in a couple of weeks. Yeah, there'll be lots of other methods of buying that. Use matches pretty good. Matches are really great. You won't need to do the signature part like you do in Uniswap now. If you've done that, and approvals. I don't think you have to do approvals either. What else there? Jump through some of that. Brendan's in house there. You will buy PLSF for fees. You will send wrapped ETH on the ETH chain to make purchase on Pulsechain. Yep. And of course, 4 to 6 weeks later, there'll probably be, I don't know how fast they're going to launch it, but there'll probably be, once they got Oracle prices, we're going to see the Portal X from Power City with over 20 blockchains, and you'll be able to seamlessly swap whatever token you want from one chain to another, subject to liquidity and things like that, but that's going to be pretty awesome. Bad Sports finally stayed up late enough. Hey, Bad Sports, good to see you. Catch you live from the UK, says Bad Sports. I like it. Who else has jumped in here? Just scrolling down. I'm up to 3 minutes. Only 3 minutes behind now. It's pretty good. John Gilbert says, just saw Richard's tweet, Hex mining and not Hex staking. Great idea and more accurate. Yeah, it's probably a good idea because you're sort of, when you interact with the Hex contract, there's no middleman, there's no custodial, just like we looked at with the SEC stuff. We don't have those issues. DeFi is the best, man. And honestly, Pulsechain really is going to take over market share with the DeFi as well. So it's going to be a good thing all around. Blair's here in the house there. Hi all, good to see you, Blair. welcome to the chat there. We're going to get into Pulse Chain updates, so you've arrived at a very good time. So let's get into it, shall we? Without further ado. All right, what have we got here? This is Richard Hart's tweet. This is his last big update on Pulse Chain. And of course, I read this in case some people have missed it. Great Pulse Chain news. Of course, devs bet the bug and got stage 9 complete on the Pulse Aragon. Remember, Aragon is one of the 2 execution clients. The other one is GoGeth. This means it's likely that the remaining metadata generating stages will be complete as well. This is probably all done now, some days ago. All clients are testing well now, and the tooling is being prepared for testnet v3 launch. And of course, that fueled the fire of the Hex chart. And of course, we saw a lot of liquidity changes as well. That has now had 566,000 views. 566,000 views. So very impressive. You can imagine when a v3 testnet goes live, the first proof of stake fork of Ethereum, it's going to be a big deal. And we probably get way more views, probably well in excess of 1 million. And of course, when mainnet goes live, you're probably looking at multi-millions of views. So it's going to be a big deal for that. He gave us a screenshot, of course, also that the bug was dead. The bug was dead there. And I did a live stream saying Richard Hart, the bug slayer. Even obviously, it's the dev team doing it, but it was pretty funny. This guy here put, your token gets an airdrop. Your token gets an airdrop, and your token also gets an airdrop. Everyone gets a effing airdrop. Obviously, family channel rules apply, but that is the funny stuff. The funny thing about that was Richard saved it, which was kind of hilarious there. So that was from Richard. Pretty big deal. Now, Richard's been pretty active in as well, so this is another sign that things are ramping up. Richard has been pretty quiet for quite a while, and then we got that big update dropped, and now he's been tweeting out lots of different stuff around Hex and other things. So this was another tone change as well from Richard. 22 hours ago, he put flexing is boring. Obviously, he did a lot of the outrage marketing during the time that devs are working and stuff. I'm just focused on building and making the world a better place. So a really nice tone change there. 228,000 views on that one. And then he started talking about Hex and trying to change the lingo around Hex to represent what it really does. Obviously, the language is very important. 6 hours ago, he says what Hex-related sites should be linked from the homepage. Hex mining is no longer called staking. And of course, the focus is on the user doing all their own work, and that's true with the Hex contract. You stake yourself, you mint your own Hex rewards at the maturity of your Hex stakes. So it is pure DeFi. It's got 3 audits in it. There's no custodial, no middleman. Really is pretty powerful stuff there. The focus is on the user doing all their own work and reaping all their own rewards. There are no middlemen in Hex. It's just you and the code you choose to run. Work is in progress, updating everything. So obviously on hex.com, you can find the links in the video description there. They're going to do a big revamp leading up into, 2023 is the year of Pulse Chain. So it's leading up to that, I guess. Inflating the Hex supply through minting. Hex using proof of weight could be called something other than interest, yield, rewards. Obviously, we've been using yield a lot and rewards a lot on this channel. So it looks like we've been front-running this stuff. We're front-running this stuff on this channel. That's terrible. We might get rugged for that. All right, so this won't matter to many people, but to those that might, it's awesome. So obviously talking about this is a legal action group, BDLF here. If you've been contacted by anyone investigating Hex, Pulsechain, or PulseX, DM us on Telegram. We're developing a collective defense against government overreach and need your input. We're going to provide you with legal assistance. Let's work together. So that was interesting that Richard posted that. Then, of course, 6 hours ago said, what should the destruction of your coins that you perform to perform proof of weight mining be in Hex be called? It's used to be called staking. Check out my Hex staking ladder. What should that language be now? Check out my Hex mining burns. Focus is on the destruction. TVL, TVB. So just looking at some lingo stuff from the community. Check out my Hex miners. This one spooled up on X date and has YT shares of power. That sounds pretty cool. You obviously, when you change the language, especially if it's not generic language used elsewhere, then you have to explain it. It's a bit like when you do a certificate of deposit at a bank, and then you say, well, Hex is kind of a certificate of deposit, but really it's supercharged with its tokenomics. It's like superior tokenomics. And of course, you get a massive potential yield difference. Is you've got to explain difference between doing a term deposit, for example, which is another phrase for certificate deposit, depending on where you are around the world, and of course you use the word staking. So Here we're looking at moving again to say minting or mining. So we'll see how it ends up there. It's funny that all these analogies for just doing math and making your results public on a mutable ledger. I wonder if there's a usable range of words to describe the truth. And I thought this was interesting because, you know, if you want to use math, you could start using math lingo. Once again, it takes a lot of education. People get out there, all the influencers, all the community, get out there and educate people as they onboard them as well. So it's going to be interesting where that lines. I think rewards is kind of a good name. It's kind of easy to think about. We'll see where they head with that. Mining, so forth. So cool. Now, Coinbase is also being pretty active here. It's time to advance pro-crypto mining policy on all 435 congressional districts across the USA. So Coinbase getting proactive. And this is what I said a little while back. It's nice to see some of the CEOs coming out and going on the front foot this time. Because when you got a SEC doing a punitive approach, you got some sort of people that don't know what they're talking about in Congress and in certain parties trying to do silly things with crypto. You know, you need to push back on that. So it's kind of cool for Richard Hart tweeting that. Now, the last thing, of course, Richard Hart posted was what coin did 4.5x in the last 2 months. You let us know in the chat which coin did 4.5x in the last 2 months, and I'll give you a little sneak peek of the answer there. All right, so that was Richard Hart, looking really good. Let's get into the rest of, obviously there's quite a bit of Hex stuff in there, but let's get into the Pulse Chain, rest of the Pulse Chain updates. We've got obviously we've got the devs here. This is on the GitLab. This is for Pulse Chain, and we've got some people logging in here. Obviously, we're looking at these because we are expecting Pulse Chain Testnet v3 to launch any day now, and potentially by this weekend is definitely doable. Lower gas fees as well on the weekend, so that'd be kind of neat there. We've got March the 2nd there. We've got 3 commas in there. We've got Brett Paulson, Bretet there, and the March the 2nd as well, logged in. Who else is logging in here? Richard Hart logged in. Woohoo! Richard Hart logged in. Yeah, last time was the 27th. Yeah, baby, yeah. I love it. March the 2nd there, folks. Woohoo! Is that hot? Hot doggity dog. Doggity dog. So it's good to see Richard logging in there. March the 2nd. Man, are things ramping up? We are expecting it very soon. This is a very key sign here. 27th, 27th, of course, and I think it was 26th as well. I have to go back and watch my video. We covered it first here on this channel just before the news came out, so it was pretty bullish. And then, of course, does this indicate something as well coming out, like the V3 testnet or V1 of proof of stake actually? So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. It could be any time. What day is it here? It's currently Friday here, but it's Thursday in the US. So it's definitely warming up. The next couple of days could be fun, folks, as well. What else there? We've got SJB logged in on the 2nd of March as well. So they've logged in for work. We don't know what they're doing there, but presumably they're doing work around Pulse Chain. So that's cool. And that is Pulse Chain 1. Excuse me, I thought I was going to sneeze there for a second. What else have we got? We got PulseX. There's a PulseX group on GitLab. And who's logging in for work? We've got 3 comments here. March the 2nd. We've got Agris there. March the 2nd there. Who else is jumping in here? Brett Paulson. Patson again. I got him. Oh, Paulson, sorry. Again, March the 2nd. We've got Hines in there as well. Man, everyone's busy, folks. Everyone is busy. Yeah, boy. There's a lot in today. There's a lot in the house today. What's the time? And Richard Hart logs in as well. Oh, no. It's pretty cool. Now, we don't want to extrapolate too much, but these are unusual behaviors. So we're getting everyone's in the office today. So that's kind of cool. Richard Hart in as well on that one as well for PulseX. That's pretty cool. So who knows? Stay tuned. Watch the updates from Richard. Who knows? Anything could happen at the moment. Let's have a look at the current testnet. V3 is the proof of work one. This is V2B that we've been watching. Still got 3-second block times. That has moved around a little bit, I've noticed over recent weeks. But that's we'll be looking out for V3 there. You might want to just, I don't know whether, I guess they're going to use the same URL. I guess they'll use V3 on it, and you type that in. Nothing there yet. I was trying to sneak peek there, but who knows when it could all pop up there. Probably have a different Explorer as well. We're going to have the Explorer plus another one, I think, the one for Aragon. So yeah, that's going to be cool. All right, so looking exciting there, folks. That Richard Hart signing in again, plus all the people logging in. That's kind of interesting. Is it going to be the same as what we got last time? Let's stay tuned. Keep your eye very close to Richard Hart's Twitter account over the weekend here. Now, the other things that we've had, not just Richard Hart with the Pulse Chain, but we've got lots of projects building on top of Hex. We've obviously had Icosahedron with Alex McFurter. We've had Maximus and the Perpetuals and all the ownership tokens and other gas tokens, everything else with Golkey and Dipcatcher, the devs for that. And now we've got Magic Carperite, obviously huge in the pools, sacrificing pools. That's where they got their claim to fame. They're wonderful guys. They really are nice guys. And of course, they've now entered the product as well. So they're doing their own products now, building on top of Hex, which is pretty cool. And that is Steakhouse. So I know Racked Riches has gone through this, Steakhouse, and of course Magic Upright as well. If you haven't checked this out, go check it out and learn all about it because it's pretty cool. So this is one of the products. So this is going to eat up. This is a win-win, right? So people benefit from bigger pays better, gas, and all that sort of stuff. And there's going to be a bit more. They may have their own token. Excuse me, their own token. But the other thing, of course, it also has a global public good for Hex as well on the ETH chain. Of course, that will all be copied over to PulseChain, and that is eats up the circulating supply when people stake in staking pools. So it's kind of cool. There's more details in there, so you can find that out as well. They're going to have a few surprises around that too, so you can definitely check that out as well. So that is the Steakhouse there. So I just wanted to mention that from the Magic Upright team. Really great team. It's their first product into it, so obviously they're doing audits and things like that. And we look forward to where they're heading with that. So very, very cool. That's all I'm going to say, I think. So yeah, let's jump away. So that is the first one there. That's the first product building on top of Hex. So very bullish for Hex as well. Like I say, the unique features of Hex are bullish. And of course, Hex is also the proxy for PulseChain. So it's got that value ladder on it as well. So how long will we stay around at the 7.5 cents? We'll see. Obviously, some of us expecting, at least 73% of our poll expecting over 8 cents by the weekend. But anything that could happen if the testnet comes out. I actually think the testnet is very bullish. There's two scenarios right with the testnet. Comes out, people buy the rumor, sell the news. I just think that that's going to be if there is a dip like that, it's going to be very short-lived. I think that the people will go, this is the first proof of stakes fork, and then we might have a bit of a sell-off possibly. Let's go for that scenario, and then a big hockey stick on the other end. And so people that sell out and stay out are going to be end up being, they'll make little profits, but they're going to be out for the big run. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the market values that. I think the big players may come in as well. Also, we don't know how long the testnet's going to run for. At this stage, not expecting a V4, but it's always possible there'll be a V2 proof of stake. But we'll see how we go. The other thing, of course, whether they're going to use the upgrades for the Shanghai fork, which looks like that will probably shift into probably April at this stage, from mid-March to April, given the fact they've still got go early to do the third final testnet. The first two, I think, have gone pretty successfully. Yeah, we'll see how we go. Sepolia was the last one. Good luck with the first one, because the name's pretty hard to remember, but that was definitely in play too. So that is pretty cool. Let's jump into the second project team. Of course, a very well-known Maximus team, Perpetuals, with Dipcatcher and Golkey. And of course, they launched this pool party announcement. And of course, they've got another staking pool going on. And a new party airdrop, party pool airdrop as well. New token there going to stakers as well. So that's pretty cool. They've had lots of stuff there around the party, and they did a big announcement. So you can find all that on the Maximus underscore DAO there with all the details. So it's pretty cool. Lots of people were excited about that. You can see all the artwork. The people were excited about the new pool party there. Golkey even put here, I think I found the perfect spot to throw the first pool party. Nice big pool place out in the desert as well. What else there? Yeah, Funding Jim talking about it as well. Other stuff there, so that's kind of cool. This was the official announcement though. They're announcing the Maximus pool party, another staking pool on Hex. This was good globally for Hex. These two projects building on top, and of course getting staking pools as well. Now I think the thing about Maximus pool party is that it's customizable. So you might see, if that's the case, if I'm understanding it rightly, because I've only had a quick look at it myself, is that people will be able to set up staking pools. We could end up seeing big influencers do that. Maybe Crypto Coffee, one of our biggest, he's our biggest native PulseChain YouTuber. We could see people like him doing, if he's able to do a staking pool. Maybe it's going to be called the Coffee Staking Pool. Who knows? But it's going to be pretty awesome, eh? It's going to be pretty awesome staking pool there. I don't know. Is there going to be a Superman staking pool? Who knows? Who knows? I'm not on the scale that those guys, their channel's at the top. But maybe we might just do that. Who knows? We'll find out. We'll find out in due course there after I've done more due diligence. But that's kind of cool. Big shout out to him, and I'm going to post that link in the chat as well if you want to follow that up. So that is the Maximus one. So let me scroll down to that as well, and you can see that link also. So that is the link for the Maximus new pool party staking pools. These are looking like they're going to be customizable, and these apparently were the idea that they had before the perpetuals came out. So this was their general idea here. So people go in. It's a bit like those automated places where you can set up your own token on the ETH chain. It does all the work for you. You just put on your details. It has all the coding in behind. I think it's a bit like that. So just automate staking pools. Hey, look, you've got to do your due diligence with that, of course. There will be some that will be particularly large. I think smaller ones, if you're looking at the ownership trading aspect to it, the liquidity may be on the small side. So that's the one issue there. But they've also got this extra reward as well. So very, very cool. That is neat. Sandy Beach says ETH fees are still paid by a benevolent person, says Sandy Beach on that one. All right, so that is the two cool news. This is bullish news, folks. Things just keep getting better and better. Better for Hex, better for Pulsechain. Is really fun. So this is the website as well, Hex Party. So you can see the new product there. Better way to stack Hex. High gas fees on Ethereum are a major issue on Hex staking. Hex Gas Pool solves this and other unique benefits as well. And that's what they like to do, layer the benefits on top of the Hex contract as well. Increased yield, gas savings, and instant liquidity. The pre-game, we embedded trustless Hex stake pools, allow people to earn more yield, saving the gas fees in instant. They're really optimizing the Hex strike contract, which is underlying. So this is the Hex derivatives, and derivatives have been fantastic for Hex. So we're looking at last year up to now. We're looking at something like 2 billion Hex has gone off with Hedron, Icosa, and Maximus. Let's be on the conservative side, say 1.8 to 1.9 billion. It's been pretty impressive. Circulating supply off the public supply, which is fantastic. And with Magic Carp Ride Maximus, looks like we're going to get even more off the market. So that's cool. The cool thing about Hex, though, when you do this, it's a win-win, which I love. I love the win-win outcomes there. So cool. To expand the Hex ecosystem, we're now opening the gates for anyone to utilize our proprietary trusted smart contracts to launch their own Hex staking pool. So are we going to see? Are we going to see a crypto coffee staking pool or something like that? Are we going to see that sort of stuff? I suggest to you that may be the case. We will find out. I obviously we don't know. We're going to find out though. Because the reason why I'm picking on that is because they have huge audiences. And of course, they can make these pools quite large. Because someone said, well, is this going to be as big as Maximus? Because remember, Maximus had 294.4 million Hex go into it. And of course, it's one of the big giant stakes, the third biggest stake out there. One of the big stakes out in the future. It's going to be even bigger by the time we get there. With the Hex Gold Whale stakes. So is it going to be, are we going to get big pools like that? Well, I suggest if the influence is big enough, like Crypto Coffee example, there's a couple others out there that may also have that sort of following. So sometimes people have some big channels, but they don't have quite the engagement and the following. So you got to sort of separate those out as well. But I think that those are sort of channels that I'm thinking of that may be able to get this going. Maybe K4K, maybe people like that could rally the troops of that. Be interesting. Obviously, they may not be interested in doing that, but it's going to be fun to see what exactly happens with this product, right? It's going to be pretty cool. Let's Party. Party stakers, aka pool creators, will have the power to design their pool, including the name, the ticker, the mint period duration, the organizer fee, and the stake length as well. I didn't realize there's an organizer fee. So is that a bit of self-interest for whoever decides to do that? That's interesting. I have to look into that a bit there. Pool Party will offer an easy-to-use minting interface to party starters. So you're called a party starter, I guess, if you're starting the staking pool. That will be ready to go when a pool was created. So this is almost like a referral program in some ways, isn't it? For big influencers to encourage increased staking above the normal staking behavior that we see, which has also been great. So pretty cool. Active pools will be listed in the Pool Party, offering free exposure to grow your pool and increase staking bonuses. It's kind of neat there. So on and on. So T-Share Marketplace as well. T-Share Marketplace obviously got all the existing products there, perpetuals. So it's got some pretty interesting here. Pool Party is community owned. Anyone can become a co-owner by minting 42,000 party per ETH submitted to the contract during a one-time only mint phase, starting at launch and lasting 30 days after that. No more party will be minted. Party holders earn rewards from the use of party pool tools. So there we are. So people setting up these tools. Looks like the party token owners will share some of the rewards there. from the looks of it, if I'm interpreting that right. So that's kind of cool. This is the first time I've actually looked at the website live, so I'm doing it live here. We got when launch date. Launch date will be announced near completion of contract test and audit, so still a phase to go there. Sacrifice, no sacrifice. Pool Party will launch as a complete product, and we'll have a one-time mint phase to get party token with ETH. How is party airdropped? A snapshot of staked and liquid balances of all Maximus assets. So if you've got any of those, then you are going to participate. Will be taken at some point leading up to the launch. Each token will have a number of airdrop points per token assigned to it. Nobody will know when the snapshot is taken or what the airdrop points for each token is until after it is complete. Then the airdrop list will be generated and encoded into a Merkle tree, which the party contract with reference, allowing eligible Maximus DAO members to mint free party. So that's going to be cool for if you're in the Maximus DAO. Products, by simply holding party, you're eligible to claim X rewards. The contract records a snapshot of all balances and supply every 7 days. The X rewards earned in every given week are distributed pro rata to holders during that week based on the average of their holdings from 1 week to the next. For example, if you held 1% of the party supply of the snapshot date and 2% of the supply the following week, you're eligible to 1.5% example. Now, I do think this will depend on obviously the uptake of the products. So it's going to be interesting. The reality is new staking pools can always be created to compete with existing ones in terms of demand and liquidity. Inevitably, dilution will occur over time. Will occur. It's important to note. So it's better to be one of the ones diluting ourselves rather than someone else doing it. Obviously, we just saw the Magic Carpet Ride jumping up there. Currently, the established pools have secured larger T-share rates and subsequently larger, bigger pays, better bonuses. The pool party dashboard will warn users if they're about to join a pool at a worse rate than what they can buy on the market from a perpetual pool, and prompt them to simply buy it instead or to get the best deal there. So I guess it's relative performance. No pool party will not have admin keys. It's immutable code. Perpetuals have an inherent advantage starting off so large and locking in a T-share rate almost 10% less than the current rate. So that's obviously an advantage to the perpetuals. If prices at or below the equivalent stake value, you will outperform by simply buying the perpetual pool token closest to the length of the staking pool you are thinking of joining. The minting dashboard will let you know if you would get a better deal on an existing pool. So it's kind of good from that point of view. Those have a long-term dollar cost average strategies for the perpetuals will be quite happy if new. Lower performing pools remove buying competition from the pool token they are trying to accumulate. What about in-stake fees? Each pool token launches with its own gas fee pool. Anyone can deposit ETH or other ERC20s in the gas pool contract to reimburse the person who ends the stake. Will there be liquidity? All pool tokens will be fully fungible and transferable. No individual entity is responsible for providing liquidity, so remember that. So it is kind of a risk. That's the one issue I do have with these pools. Would it be relative liquidity for the ownership tokens? So far that seems to be okay, but it's just something food for thought there. The market will determine price and liquidity levels. You should assume relatively low liquidity. I think that's a good assumption, so nice that they put it here. If you want extra liquidity for the Pogon tool, you go find it. That's another way there. So yeah. All right, so that is pretty much that. I think it's going to be interesting to see where that goes. A community-owned platform empowered people and communities to launch their own trustless Hex yield stakes as well. So that is from Maximus. Pretty awesome, right? Pretty awesome. I love that idea. I think that's very, very cool as well. Now, we did have a Pulsechain project that was looking at doing custom PRC tokens as well. So it's going to automate that for people. I think that would be pretty popular as well. I'm not sure if that's still going. We'd have to check that up, but that is pretty cool. Now, my honorable mention here is Texan token. Rags to riches, of course, big influence in a Hex and Pulsechain space. And I wanted to mention this because he just said that 15 billion Texan has been time locked by unknown top wallet this morning for 22 years. So that's pretty much the max period of a Texan token. Circulating supply now down 71.67% in less than 60 days. So some big plays going on there. So pretty impressive there. So I don't know where that's come from. Obviously, maybe Rags knows. You can go ask him. But anyway, that is down pretty aggressively on supply. And remember, this is the first endowment token on the blockchain that we're aware of. And of course, the people will obviously get copied on Pulsechain. I hope that they're targeting a lot more no-coiners. I know that they've got a global strategy with Rags and Crypto Heartbeat. But of course, targeting those no coin is very important. Now that said, of course, Rag to Riches has done a 101 onboarding program for crypto, and of course we've got that in our Hex Token Discord there under useful links. It's a 101 course to crypto. So if you're relatively new to crypto, you might want to watch that because Rags goes through a lot of great topics to get you maybe from beginner level to intermediate level or something like that, whatever that means. So let's basically get you familiar with the crypto stuff. So definitely pretty awesome there from Rags. I think this is the tokens here. This is total supply, available endowment supply, total principal staked, pending endowment rewards, etc. So it's kind of neat. All right, well done there. So that's the honorable mention today, Texan token. We're going to get the Hex Daily stats though. We've got day 1186 hot off the press. Before we do that, let's catch up in the chat there. We're doing pretty well, I think, an hour and 15. I always end up going longer than normal. That's because so much stuff is happening, folks. That's the problem. Slow down. The Pulse Chain is not even launched yet, and yet we've got all this action happening. All right. Who else has jumped in the chat? Let's go back here. It was about 10 minutes ago. A bit further back than that. Go up the top here. Where did I get up to? I'm just trying to say. Did I get to J-Man? I got to Blair. I know I got to Blair. QQ says, launch it. Launch it already. Launch the Pulse Chain. That's true. Sandy Beach, there's so many good projects coming to Pulse Chain. There are a lot. We've got Machiavelli in there with the rockets. Now, I've got through. I had looked at. Have you been posting heaps of comments on rockets there, Machiavelli? I'm not sure, but that's bullish. I like it. Hi all. Woohoo! Ballfish King in the house. We've also got Pulse Demic as well, running late. We'll have to replay. Morning, guys. Price is good. Price is good. As well. QQ says RH is pivoting. It's almost go time. Well, we did that. He's pivoting on Twitter, and of course we saw him on the GitLab again. Just the second there. So he's just things are ramping up, and the team all logging in. Stay tuned very closely to the Richard R tweet, something like that. I'm losing my mind on this channel. Losing my mind. I've been talking for an hour and 15 minutes. All right, you guys know I seem to have no problem talking for that long by myself. Just the way it goes. Let's have a look here. Sandy Beach and House there, Brennan. No, what else do we got on here? Let's jump on here. Xenology says streaming until 8 cents. Hit the like button. That says Xenology. Yep, true. QQ says, we've been waiting so long, I don't think I'm ready for this now. That's the other thing. That's true. There's a psychological thing around that, right? I wonder if Matty Allen's covered that topic on his channel. Yeah, it's you wait so long and then your mind's just like, oh, that's coming. That's happening now. But things are definitely ramping up, QQ. Is ramping up, and I think we can see that. People are coming out of the woodwork. Over 500,000 views on Richard Hart tweets. You definitely know things are waking up. You got bigger influencers starting to promote and talk about it, like Ivan on Tech. And of course, we're going to get BitBoy, Carl, Moon, and the rest of them jumping up and down. It's going to be fun. Francis in the house there with the fire. Love it. Yeah, if you want to jump into our Discord, that's the best, getting into Discord with Superman. Obviously, it's really about the community, so really downplay myself. It's really about you guys. So get into Discord there. Richard Hart said that, man, the best thing that surprised me about Hex is the community. So get in there. It's a great place. We have all the best information too, all laid out there on Hex, PulseX, Pulse Chain, Maximus, Icosa, Hedron. It's all there. And then we have also all the Pulse Chain projects as well. I've got 2 different chat rooms there for that. So definitely get in there. And we're pretty liberal about what you can talk about because we love crypto, we love freedom. So we're really not going to be doing, any maxi smash on you. Oh, maxis! We're pro. Another ripper says Aussie Stone. Cheers for your update, Superman. Hey, you're welcome, Aussie Stone. And J-Man says Pulse Chain is going to be awesome. It is going to be awesome as well. And Superman is the man. Hey, well, thanks, J-Man. Appreciate that. Matt and Barley's in the house there. Superman morning. It definitely is a Superman morning. Hex currently at 7.55 cents. It's looking good. Andrew Reynolds as well. Happy Friday, all. Definitely happy Friday. If you're in the southern hemisphere, it is Friday already. If you're in the northern hemisphere, it's still good old Thursday. Is it? Good old Thursday, yeah. We've got one more day of the stock market. That's all I know. Cookies and Crypto says it's a Hex party. Sounds awesome. It does. A customizable staking pool. I think that's pretty cool. And maybe some of the big influencers will pick that up, because it does look like there's sort of a referral program in there to spread the word around hex staking. That is a very good idea. Now, we did have referrals for the AA lobby when that was on, and I used to have an old channel. I was one of the YouTubers out there in the early days pushing that. Yeah, YouTube went and gutted most of the channels, and there were still a few left, but it was a tough business. Will Pool Party will make MCR to change project or cancel it? I don't think so, Christian. It's good to have competition. Don't think so. They got a few of their own surprises as well. We will try and cover that in more depth as I get more information around it. I need to watch their full video, watch different parts of it. They have certainly got more features, more stuff coming out about that. So when they do, I will definitely cover it. And Sandy Beach says, I don't think so. CC, their project is different. Yeah, it has its own differences. So I think that's important. Competition is also important, as well, from dev teams. I like it. Suitman, we will need your surprised face and thumbnail soon, like MM Crypto. Yeah, maybe if I look like Brad Pitt or something, we might do that, but we'll leave it at that for this time. All these projects is making it hard for me to keep my hands off them, says Christian. Yeah, true. Janaji says, Hex Token, you will need 3 hours to cover all the news once Pulsechain launches. That's true. Good luck with that. That's hilarious, man. That is hilarious. That's true. All right, Matty Allen's in the house. I was just talking about Matty Allen. It's funny, I was talking about the psychology there of someone's statement. That's hilarious that Matty Allen drops in just when I talk about that. So it's funny. Sup all, good to see you streaming Hex Token. I appreciate it, Matt. Welcome to the chat there. And I don't know whether you saw me talking about you and someone raised some psychological issue about waiting, and almost it's not like it's real type of thing, so it's kind of reading with that. Good to see Matty Allen in the house, killing it on talking about everything good. RH, so it's nice. Sandy Beach says, good timing. Yeah, good timing indeed. KD says, Superman's Discord is popping. I like that, KD. Big shout out to you. Richards and Gaiman is wrapping up virality soon. Yeah, it's happening, man. It's happening. It's not going to be hold back. We're going to take over crypto, and we're going to take DeFi, make DeFi, take that market share off the CeFi stuff. It's going to be awesome. Christian says, familiar, hit the like button. Definitely smash the like button there. Almost up to date here on the comments. The work actually starts when Pulse is launched. Lots of onboarding and developments to go. That's 100% right, QQ. So even when Pulsechain launched, there's so much to happen. But there's going to be so much content for all the influencers, for the community to get out there. Remember, the community is the big deal in this. Get out there, spread the word. Obviously, influencers will do it too, and some of the ones that are big quieter will get more active, all that sort of stuff. And then we're going to get all the big YouTubers in crypto. I think we've got at least, if I looked at the last top 21 or something, or top 31 crypto YouTubers, and I think we've probably got, just off the top of my head, maybe 25% of them have had interviews with Richard or talked about Hex or Pulsechain. Some of them have sacrificed. So I think it's at least around that number, around 25% of the top ones and top 30. So I think we're looking at some pretty awesome stuff there too. It's going to be fun. Could today be the day, sir? Says Debbie. Hey, could be indeed. Been waiting so long, my beers have got warm. I hate that. Bintang beers never get warm, Matt. They never get warm. It's one thing, I don't know. I've never had a Bintang beer. I'm just making it up. Matt knows that. The more pool party there is, the better the Hex community wins. That's true. We want to eat out that circulating supply. Remember, last time my latest figure was around 15 billion that was in circulating supply, but I think that's gone down. Given a lot of the staking that we've had, we've seen lots of millions of Hex get staked, and these pool things just keep pushing that down. So I do want to get an updated number on the circulating supply. You know, that's one of the key numbers for me. For the medium long term for Hex. Welcome. You're the blonde suit man, says Sandy Beach. Yeah. Welcome, Maddie. Good to see you in the chat. 100%. We've got Brennan in the house as well. Suitman is a Kiwi Brad Pitt. That's hilarious, man. That is hilarious, Brennan. I like that. That's funny. What do I got for that? I got the magical twinkle. Casey says, I want a huge short-term Hex pool party for the community. That'd be fun. And of course, Brennan says, can we have a pool party at one of the property review mansions? That's true. Maybe you talk to that guy on that channel, so that'd be good. Big shout out, Brennan. All right, let me jump over to the Hex Daily Stats. Hot off the press, folks. There are probably, it could have been hotter because I've delayed talking about it, but it's definitely coming up here. Let me just waiting for it to render here. Is it going to render? I love the software. It's just a little bit buggy, just a little bit laggy there. All right, so Hex 1186. So day 1186 of the Hex journey. I always say it's a Hex journey, right? 23rd of February, sorry, the 3rd of, no, wait a minute, what day is it? 2nd of March, 2023. 2nd of March, 2023. You got to remember, in Down Under, we look at the days, like the day, then the month, and the year. So here we got the 2nd of March, 2023. It's in the US format there. The price is down 2.5% at 7.5 cents. Up beautifully, of course. 4.5x in 2 months. So we're doing pretty well there. The ROI is sitting at 13.29 from the all-time low of 5th of January 2020. And of course, payout per TCS 6.4. So even better, folks. If you haven't checked out Hex.com, check it out. Buy Hex, stake Hex. You get a copy on Pulsechain. You get the beautiful yield and the potential for price appreciation. One of the few coins to ever do, tokens to ever do 10,000x. So definitely something worth thinking about. T-share price there at $1,992 on the T-share price. And T-share Hex rate there at 26,545, up 9.2 Hex per T-share. Now, this Hex T-share rate is only going up and to the right. It reflects compound returns, and also it is makes it that short-term staking doesn't beat out long-term staking. And for me, it's also earlier pays better. It's an earlier pays better measure. Obviously, the lower this is, the more T-shares you get when you stake your Hex. So it really is a big deal there. Now, obviously, we have pretty much 3 bonuses in my sense. This is kind of a bonus if you get an early. It's not really an effective bonus, but it's if you get it tomorrow, it's going to be higher, so you're going to get less. So in that sense, it is. But we've got longer pays better. You get 20% more shares per for your Hex every year. And of course, bigger pays better up to 10% for 150 million as well. So definitely, if you do 10-year for longer pays better bonus, you can get this up to 1/3 of the price cheaper, and your yield's going to be insane in the membrane, mathematically speaking. It's going to be pretty awesome. Now, what else we got? The average share rate, average staking length, sorry, is 6.44 years. The one thing I was going to say about this, obviously, the Hex Gold Whale has a big stake coming out. We're going to jump to that now. So this is the Hex Gold Whale here sitting here. I got about there's 3.55 billion Hex sitting here. 114. There's quite a few T-shares in here. I think it was 146,000 T-shares the Hex Gold Whale put here for the 30-day stake, and it includes its exit from Tokeneer, the Hourglass of Trayvon. So it's pretty cool. It's also going to probably have a little marginal impact on the share rate, but it's also obviously probably recovering some of its Hourglass exit fee, which is 10%. It was 10%. A lot of people have got paid. I saw someone post a $50,000 payout from the Hex Gold Whale exiting. Lucky them, right? So that's pretty cool. Probably bought themselves a Tesla or something like that. Now we've got these short stakers here. One of the candles has come out, of course. We were going to have about 2.5 billion in these short stakers. Most of them just keep restaking short term, but they are getting impacted, particularly at the moment from now on, the last month or so, but now on, the share rate's expected to really climb steeply, and these guys will get particularly diluted, right? So they do get a bit of the bigger pays better bonus, but their share rate is going up dramatically. It will cost them a lot more Hex per T-share. Hex is really designed to reward those staking longer with the longer pays better bonus, and the share rate is also going against them as well. So they need to take that into account. So it's pretty interesting stuff going on there. They do it for some different reasons. Some of them just shaving interest as a form of income, which is all cool. We don't care how people use these, but this is just the reality of what's happening with the tokenomics. And of course, they also can like to have liquid. Maybe they just like the flexibility of having their liquid bags. Maybe they've already got lots of big stakes as well out further. Some of these accounts do. Maybe they're also holding for Pulsechain. Maybe some of them might do some ratio trading. There's all sorts of different things that they might be doing there. But in any case, the share rate's going up against them, and that's going to be the case there. This is the 3-month chart for the global stakes. There's all the Hex stakes in the future. You can see that the 3.5 billion Hex stake here from the Gold Whale and a couple other stakes in there is really dwarfing the metrics here. So it's pretty crazy. We're going to see what that all looks good. Hey, Katie's just gifted 5 Hex token memberships. Big shout out to Katie. Woohoo! Get in there, folks. Grab them. Those measures, man. That's pretty awesome. Congratulations. So a big shout out to Katie there. 5 memberships coming out. Dan's got one. Dan's got one there. Crypto Freedom picked one up. Crypto Pay picked one up. Lost in Crypto picked one up. And Terry Doc. So congratulations to all of you, and a big shout out to KD for that. That is awesome. And yeah, Sandy Beach summed it up Awesome, KD. That was really, really cool. So nice one. Welcome to the Hex Token channel membership as well. Don't forget, you got cool little emojis. You can use those in the chat now with being a member. And of course, if you're in Discord, you can get upgraded on the Discord as well. So just get into there and let me know in the chat. I do go and manually update them, but if you want to let me know, do that for sure. Brennan says KD is the Oprah Winfrey of this channel. Yeah, you can get that. You get free stuff. Yeah, that's right. That's a good observation, Brennan. That's hilarious. All right, like the emojis there. Cool. All right, so that is pretty much that. Let's jump back to the Hex Daily Stats. The APY yield there or reward and emergency in-state penalties, 36.25% is the reward. Pretty cool. Liquidity in the pool, 48.7 million is the amount of Hex. Remember, when we were up at 50 cents, we had about 58 million Hex in the pool. So things have changed dramatically since then. And of course, we've got 7.6 million US dollars and 2,734 ETH in the pool there as well. Jumping to the T-share ownership pool. Remember, Hex is really easy to understand. In the simplest form, we have a reward pool with the yield and the 50% of the penalties in it, and then we have the ownership pool with the T-shares, which stands for trillions of shares. So if the reward pool or the T-share ownership pool goes up or down, then the Hex payout per T-share changes every day. That's as simple as X. You can describe X, and basically the Hex payout per T-shares is going to go up and to the right. Mathematically. Now the price of Hex can move around a lot, right? So it's going to go through its own cycles, subject to whatever's going on at the time, but it's pretty cool. Now let's jump over to the stake percentage of coins. We've got 10.19% of all Hex is staked at the moment. We've got really nice penalties in today, so close to 2 million in Hex penalties. 50% goes to the origin account. That's kind of a cool thing in the sense that it lowers the effective inflation. It's pretty cool because its behavior is that it never sells. Kind of the way I see it is kind of like an operational manager just does its thing, and it's kind of cool, lowers the effective inflation, which is great for the rest of us. Hex is all about rewarding stakers, and that seems to be the case with the contract and with the entity like the origin account, so it's pretty cool. Change in current holders there, 279 is the increase on Etherscan at 322,236. We've got the stakers numbers. This is our headline number. A little bit on the weak side the last 2 days, 9 and 8. So we're up 9 today, 919, 256. Now, Richard Hart always says get out there and do direct promotions, and that's up to people to make it successful. Just like people interact with the Hex contract and they stake and they mint themselves, well, it's always also up to them to get onboard people as well. So you do what you can, though. Some people like that sort of stuff, some people don't. So, but Richard does encourage the direct promotion form of that. What else there? We're changing holders up 433. And total holders at 535,763. That is day 1186, folks. And I think that is the last day of the third month. So I'm gonna call that. And of course, we're about to head into our fourth month of the fourth year, which is pretty cool. The Hex payout per T-share is around about 6.299. That will probably jump up again when this Hex Godwild stake comes out. And of course, we'll have a few changes in our key measures for that as well. So that is the Hex Daily Stats. We got paid every day. I do my live stream. What happens? You guys get paid if you're staking T-shares, that is. So it's pretty cool. All right, so that is the staking there. The other thing, I was going to have a quick look at penalties. These are the penalties in Hex. Obviously, we get 50% of the penalties, and they've been pretty juicy here. Look at this, the penalty for February. We've got some decent penalties in there. We got some decent penalties back here in November last year. We got some decent penalties in August as well. We got super duper penalties, unfortunately, in November 2021, and then we've got some other penalties in here. So really, it's been quite a nice uplift here in penalties. That's just an extra boost to your earnings there, your reward earnings for the old Hex, which is pretty nice. We're at 4 billion total penalties. 4 billion. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty good. The Hex contract, if people don't keep their responsibilities or, for other reasons happen, Hex stakers get paid, and half of it goes to the origin account, and of course lowers the effective inflation if it never sells. So it's kind of a win-win there all around. What do we have? I think it was 1.29% for 2022 was the effective inflation in terms if we define it by minted Hex. So it's a pretty low inflation rate. It's pretty neat. And of course, we got long-term staking over 6.4 years, and that is deferring inflation down the line there too. I kind of see a scenario where people some people in the future may have so much Hex they only need to sell a little bit there. That's an interesting little idea. So fun thoughts. All right, Hex at the moment at 7.51 cents. Looking good is the old Hex price. How are we doing for time? We're up to an hour and 34 minutes. Man, I've absolutely gone way over time. You guys are crazy out there, man. You guys are crazy. And lucky Briz is not on the channel. Otherwise, he'd be going, go, 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 go. We've got about 70 people watching at the moment, so a big shout out to everybody. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's content. We're going to wrap up with the final comments as we watch the Hex chart here. Let me just get full chart, get rid of all the overlays. That is the Hex chart there on the fifth. Let's go to 15 minutes. 15-minute chart. There's a 15-minute chart on Hex. Let's see if we can bust that 8 cents in the weekend. Obviously, testnet V3 is out very shortly. Could do well a lot higher than that. We're talking about potentially 8, 6, 10 cents, 12 cents, somewhere like that. Could do something crazy. It's going to be fun to see. What else? Let's see. We got up to, I'm definitely a bit further behind here. No, I got up to that. I might have missed a few comments back up here when Katie gave out all those rewards. I think I did okay. All right, down here, we're up to 4 minutes ago. Doing good. Sandy Beach says, I'm so excited about what's coming our way. Absolutely, Sandy Beach. And you have applied the ultimate strategy, dollar cost averaging. It has been very useful, dollar cost averaging strategy. If you don't know the timing and anything, then a dollar cost average strategy is a very good way to look at that. So if you don't know the timing, because timing is always difficult, so dollar cost average is a good way to do it. Matt and Barley's gifted 1 Hex Token channel membership, and H picked it up. Nice one. You jumped out there. That was pretty awesome. So a big thank you to Matt. Well done, man. A nice free membership there. Congratulations to HH. Welcome to the channel membership. And of course, don't forget to use all the emojis, folks. Get in the chat, use the emojis. Let me know if there's any other emojis that you want me to add, because I can ship 1 or 2 of them around. What else there? Crypto Pay in the house. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Good to see Crypto Pay. I think we're almost done. HH says, thank you for your hard work you put in for the community. Hey, you're welcome, man. Hey, look, there's a lot of people out there doing hard work. Community's working hard. The influencers are working hard. And we're honestly, crypto is the best performing asset class. And we're in the gold-plated products for crypto. And of course, that only got amplified last year with CFI and centralized fate getting wrecked. Yeah, we're going to have a pretty good future, I think. I think it's going to look pretty good. All right. I think that's it. Hey, Kate Figure, man. Kate Figure jumps into the chat there and drops a $20 super sticker. Welcome, Kate Figure. Appreciate that. And bam, there it goes, folks. And of course... Appreciate that, Kate Fugger. Thank you so much, and appreciate support big time. And Kate Fugger is going to be going on the Hex cruise that's coming up in March. Did I get that right, Kate Fugger? Is it April? I bet it's April, and I said March. Kate Fugger's going to hit me for that one. I think it's April. Kate, you might want to help me out here. Can someone tell me how do we claim the gifts? I think that isn't there a button that pops up or something like that? I think that might be the case there, Christian. The money channel says Matt. Yeah, well, money channel today. Big shout out to those who have shouted the channel memberships and to Kate Figure. Man, it looks pretty good with the orange actually, doesn't it? And holding up the trophy. I like that a lot. All right, we've got to wrap up shortly here. The Hex chart is still ticking along though, 7.519. And Kate Figure says, I didn't know it was Shibdog or I would have sent something else. Yeah, it does look like a Shibdog too. That's hilarious. Hey, look, we're open-minded on this channel, man. You're not going to get any flack from me. You guys know that. This is a family channel. It's a no drama channel. And of course, we're a freedom channel. So obviously we don't like, shim too much stuff, but yeah. Now, some projects I haven't been talking about lately. I do want to talk about them, but there's just no news about them at the moment. So if you're wondering why certain topics I'm not covering, just because there's not really anything happening. And that's pretty much it. What else there? Christian says, good night to everybody before we leave. Nice one there, Christian. Cape is shilling ships. Here's Britain. Yeah. Rug pull. Rug pull there. That was a sneaky one. There. All right. I think we're going to wrap up here. We're up to an hour and 38 minutes, almost an hour and 40. We're getting Hex price at 7.5. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I've had a blast. I hope you have too. Take care, everybody. let's play out the Pulse Chain promo. You guys know I love it, and it's pretty fun. It's in Las Vegas too, the party town. All right, take care. Bye for now.